Hi, welcome to the 15th episode of the New England Gal Knits podcast. I am Janet and I live in Massachusetts with my husband, our two boys, our cat, and our dog. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram at the New England Gal. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you're a new viewer, welcome to the podcast. I hope you enjoy it. I do want to just take a quick moment and just thank everybody for subscribing and liking my videos and leaving such nice comments. It really does mean a lot, so thank you so much. So over the last few weeks, my attention span has been extremely short. I've been easily distracted by Patons on Ravelry, and I've started a whole bunch of new projects. I think every project I have started is new, a new cast on from the last 2 weeks. I don't think I even have anything to share with you. My Sunset Highway sweater, I think I got a couple more inches done on the body, but nothing worth showing you. It's just at this point a whole bunch of stockinette. I haven't started my second Irving sock yet, which I've cast on 3 socks and one of them was not the second sock to the Irving. So I really need to focus in, but you know what? Part of me is, I knit for fun. I knit because I enjoy it. So starting these new projects and I'm enjoying it. So I'm just taking it one day at a time and knitting on something I love and I enjoy. And every day I kind of feel like something different. So I'm okay. I have quite a few works in progress, but at least I have a variety now. So I think I'll start off with actually talking about what I am wearing. I am wearing my Angelina pullover. This is a pattern by Benedetto, and it's knit out of the Fiber Company in their Cumbria base in the Dirt Wet Water colorway. Let me just kind of stand up. I love this sweater. I don't know how well you can see it. It's just nice and loose and flowing. It is a wool mohair blend yarn, so it is super warm. And I know you're probably thinking, it's spring, why are you wearing such a heavy worsted weight sweater? It's supposed to snow. Again. So spring has not hit here in New England. It's been a bitter cold and snowing off and on for the last actually a few weeks. Inch here, inch there, at least no more nor'easters, but I'm ready for spring. I'm ready for the flowers to start blooming and the trees to start budding, and hopefully that is right around the corner and this will be the last of it. As much as I love the snow and I love the cooler weather so I can wear my knits, I love the change of seasons. It's one of the reasons I love New England, because we definitely have 4 distinct seasons here. I'm ready to move on to spring now. So anyways, I am wearing this because it is snowing and this is cozy warm and it'll keep me toasty. So I do have a couple finished objects. So my first finished object is a pair of socks. So these are for my younger son Ryan, and they're just plain vanilla socks. I knit these from the toe up and did a afterthought heel. I used the Smooth Operator pattern by Susan B. Anderson. And I knit these on my Addi Turbos 8-inch circular needles, and they're a 2.5 millimeter needle. So I did a 56 stitch sock. So I have these all done, and he is very excited because he can wear these when he gets home from school. So these are knit out of, it's Patons Kroy, and it's in their gray brown marl color. And I like these. He's put a hole in a pair of the merino nylon blend socks. Now I have to say, I think it was only a 90-10. Yeah, it was a 90-10 base. So they were super soft and they were 2 years old, and he managed to put holes in the bottom of the foot, and I don't think they are repairable. So, and I like the Patons Kroy for him. It's a little bit sturdier. It's not merino wool, so I'm hoping these will wear better for him. He's very active and he loves to wear his hand knit socks. So he's looking forward to getting these this afternoon. And then my second finished object, it's almost a finished object. I just have the wet ends to weave in. So here are my second pair of socks that I have completed. These are knit out of Black Bunny fiber, and this is her 75-25 base in her Swamp Thing color, and here's the remaining. And I had talked about this, I think, 2 episodes ago. I have 50 grams of yarn left here, so this means it only took half the skein. So I'm hoping to knit another pair because I really want socks with this green in them. So, and again, this I did toe up, afterthought heel. I did these on a US 1 2.25 millimeters, so I did 64 inches for these. I do a 2x2 ribbing on all my cuffs. I like them better. I think they're stretchier and they fit my leg and they fit my son's leg better, and they're not too loose. So that is my second finished object. So on to my many works in progress. So I guess the first work in progress, I don't even have 2 of these works in progress in project bags. They've been sitting on my dining room table, which has probably been driving my husband absolutely nuts. The dining room table's a little messy right now. So, but it's only half of the dining room table and we can use the other half for dinner, so it's okay for the time being, but these need to find project bags. So the first one I'm going to share is, this is the Bough shawl, and it's knit out of worsted weight yarn and by Woolenberry. It's a Woolenberry pattern, and it is a seed stitch, can't talk this morning, a seed stitch pattern, and then goes into lace. So here is what I have so far. So I have to say, I find 1x1 ribbing and seed stitch patterns very slow going. So it doesn't look like I have much done, but I have put in several hours of work on it. So it's a triangular shawl that's knit on the bias. And I am knitting this out of Cascade 220. And let me see here, the color is 2401, and here's the tag. So, and again, this is, I had this in stash. I think I had picked this up. I had 3 skeins. It's going to take 3 skeins of yarn. I picked this up on one of Webb's large sales, I would say easily 4 years ago. So I saw this pattern and this was enough yarn. So I casted it on, I think with the Sunset Highway pullover, and then I had just finished the Exploration Station. I think I just wanted to work on worsted weight yarn. I think the fingering was starting to get to me, especially I feel like with the Sunset pullover, I'm at the point where it's all stockinette, and it just seems, because it's fingering weight, to take forever to grow. I do have to, I think this Friday, I'm going to throw a movie in with the boys and maybe sit for a couple hours and work on the body and see what I can get accomplished. So, but these I am knitting on my size 8. These are my ChowGoo interchangeables. I love, ChowGoos are my favorite knitting needles. So that is my first work in progress. My second work in progress is another shawl. So I am working on the Feyre, I think is how you say the name, and this is by Shannon Cook, and it's based off of a character in the Court of Thorn and Roses series, which I've read the first 2 books. I'm waiting for the 3rd to come in from our library, and I'm enjoying them. They are what they are. Sometimes the young adult books aren't really up my alley, but I am enjoying this one. So anyways, this is the shawl, and I have to say, I copied it. I liked the neutral palette. I needed a gray shawl. I have a tan one, but I wanted something I can wear with my grays and my blacks, and a little bit more, you know, it's nice to have a tan neutral and to have a gray neutral shawl. That way it covers everything. It'll go with everything. So here is what I have so far, and I've gotten through the first section, which is striping between garter and stockinette stitch, and then I am working on the slip rib stitch pattern. And I've gotten lazy because it is going to get up to over 300 stitches, and I hate counting stitches, so I've been putting in stitch markers every 20 stitches, so this way I don't have to do a whole lot of counting to make sure I'm up to where I need to be. But I am really enjoying this, and this is growing really, really quickly. So I am knitting this on my Luca needles in the size, there's US 8s, which is a 5mm. So, and I am knitting this again. It was things I had in stash, so I am knitting it out of Patons Classic worsted, and this is in the dark gray marl. So I had 2.5 skeins of these left over from my Veronica, so I'm glad I'm going to get, because it calls for about, it'll take about 2 skeins, so I'm glad I'll be getting extra use out of this. And then I had 2 of these. This is the Patons Classic as well in the Aran color, and I think I had a friend sent me a little care package. I had back surgery a couple years ago, and she had given me 2 of these and 2 in a green color, and I wasn't too sure what I was gonna do with them, so this is perfect. So, and I do love the way it's coming out, and it will go with, it'll go with everything. It'll even go with navy blue. So, and I wear a lot of navy, so I can't wait, and it's flying. It's so much fun, and I'm really enjoying that. So the rest of my works in progress are all socks. I have cast on 3 new pairs of socks, and haven't gotten, well, on 2 of them, I haven't gotten very far. On one of them, I'm almost done my first sock, so I'll share that one. So, and I'm doing, 2 of them are just plain vanilla socks. So here is the first one I am working on. And this I'm knitting with my ChowGoo 9-inch circulars, the US ones, which are the 2.25mm. And let me find. So this is Yarn Jar, and I love her striped yarn. This is her 75/25 4-ply base, and this is in the Snowbird. How about I put the tag right side up? Colorway. And it is flying. I am enjoying it. I've put in for my afterthought heel already. So, and I'm doing 13 stripes for the leg, and I think I'm up to 10, so I only have a few more stripes to go before I can start on the ribbing. So this is just flying along. So I've had quite a bit of time over the last few weeks to knit on it. We've been going a lot of places, so I haven't been taking my larger projects with me. I just like taking easy vanilla socks to travel in the car, or for Easter, my boys served Easter Vigil Mass, so they had to go to a practice, so I ended up just sitting and was able to knit quite a bit on that. And then my second vanilla sock is, here we go. Alright, so here we go. It's just the beginnings. I just started it yesterday, so I've got the toe, let's see here, and I've started on the foot. So, and this is being knit out of, the toe is the Knit Pick Stroll in the ash color, and I actually ended up caking it up. So it was, I don't know if you call it a ball or a skein, but it came like this, and it was just, it was puffing up and getting all tangled. So I decided I had to cake up a couple other skeins of yarn. So I decided to just do that as well with this to make my life easier. And then the foot is being knit out of Sweet Georgia in the Tough Sock base, and I do not know the color, but I will put it down on the screen. I'll look it up. So this was left over from my Find Your Fade shawl, which I have not finished yet. I've talked about it, I think, multiple times. My numbers are all messed up. I can't figure out what I've done, so I've kind of thrown it in a bag and hidden away, and I'm trying to decide what to do with it. But this was the second color in my Find Your Fade shawl. So I had 79 yards, or 79 grams left over, so I'm decided to use it for a pair of socks as well. So, and these are being knit on the Addie's US one, which is a 2.5 millimeter. So this is being done in 56 stitches. So that is my second sock, and now on to the third that I started. So the third one is the Speckled Space Socks. I cannot say that fast. Tongue twister. So this is by Amanda Stevens, and here is what I have so far. So I still haven't gotten too far. I've done the toe. It is written toe up. So I am knitting it out of Artistic Lily, and this is in her, can I find the tag here? Here we go. Baby Light My Fire on her Got to Have Socks fingering, which is an 80/20. And I love the way it's micro striping up. And I was worried at first when I saw it striping if you'd be able to, how well you'd be able to see the pattern. But I love the way the pattern is looking. You can definitely see the texture. I don't know how it's coming across on camera, but you can definitely see it in person. So I am trying to figure out how to do this. So it's knit from the toe up with a heel flapping gusset, which is not my favorite to do. I've never done a heel flapping gusset from a toe up. So the directions are very, it's quite a lengthy pattern. It's several pages, and it looks like it's written out very well. So I may try to do it, or I may just go on and just do a Fish Lips Kiss heel on it to make my life easier. Should try something new. We'll see. But I am enjoying it, and I love the way the texture is coming out. So that is it for all of my works in progress, which is quite a bit. And 2 large shawls, plus having my Sunset Highway pullover. I have quite a bit to work on. Quite a bit, but I'm going to take my time and enjoy it in one step at a time. So that is it for all my works in progress. So as far as acquisitions go, I only managed to purchase 1 skein of yarn over the last 2 weeks, which is pretty impressive, seeing since the beginning of the year I've gone a little bit crazy with my purchases. So I am quite proud of that. I also did pick up another project bag. I'll share the project bag first. So I have to say, I saw this bag on Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits podcast, and immediately, I don't think she was even done the podcast yet, I went on and purchased it. So this is a bag by Lila Stiles, and this is embroidered with Dobby. So this right now is currently housing my socks works in progress. So I figured Dobby and the socks were quite fitting, so I've been carrying this around with me, and I love it. It's made out of this I want to say close to twill material, which I absolutely love. My one thing is with my dog, my little miniature husky, he's going through shedding season right now, and there is fur everywhere. And with the huskies, their fur is thicker, it's more hair than it is fur, so it's getting kind of woven in the twill. But that's more my dog's fault and not the bag. I love the material, it's nice and sturdy, and it's beautifully made. And then on the inside of it, she used the, I don't know how well, let's see, the Marauders map material. So I am so pleased with this, I love it. And then I noticed she had just put up in her shop new house bags, and I'm very tempted to purchase the Gryffindor one. So we'll see. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm trying to debate whether or not it's worth it, but I love the bag, and it was reasonably priced, so I'm extremely happy with that. And then my second purchase is my one skein of yarn. I managed to catch one of Vine's updates, so I ended up purchasing this yarn. This is her Edinburgh color. So, and it's on her Blitz base, which is her Stellina. So it's 75 merino, 20% nylon, and a 5% gold Stellina. I love her Stellina base. It just, you know what, the cameras never pick up the Stellina well, but it is just the perfect amount of sparkle. So I have no idea what I'm going to do with it yet. I do have to say, this past week she posted a photo on Instagram with this color, her Dirty on Purpose, which I already own a skein. I had purchased that a few months ago, along with her I cannot talk this morning, Solstice colorway. And she said how lovely they paired together, and I was very tempted to try and get on the update and purchase it, but I withheld because I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. So until I figure it out, I'm going to behave, and I'm not going to purchase any. Once I know what I'm going to do, I'll catch an update. You know what? I could do her Oracle shawl. It is on my Make 9. Yeah, all my cast-ons, none of them were any of my Make 9 patterns. You know what? But I am enjoying what I'm knitting, so it does not matter. So best laid plans, sometimes the best time is breaking away from the plans when you find the most enjoyment in things. So I'm going to go with that. So, but I could do the Oracle shawl with this, the Dirty on Purpose and the Solstice. I bet you that would make a beautiful Oracle shawl. There's something to think about. So, and then my other acquisition, I didn't purchase it, but I wanted to share it. It was, my mother brought it over for me a couple weeks ago. So, and this is my grandmother's darning egg. And it's actually, so my mother had it, but it's actually my father's grandmother. So she, and it's funny, my mother's not a knitter, she's a quilter. My father had given it to her though, thinking she'd enjoy it, just having it in her quilting room. And it's funny because my grandmother didn't really knit either. She knit one sweater, and the one sleeve was 3 inches longer than the other, and we used to joke about it all the time, but she was not a big knitter either. She quilted as well. Actually, the quilt on my bed was a wedding gift from her. So anyways, my mom brought this over because I was saying I needed to fix the socks that Ryan put holes in. They're beyond repair. So even with the darning egg, even with me trying to fix it, it would probably be faster for me to knit him a new pair of socks than try and fix the pair with the holes in them. So, but anyway, so my mom brought this over, and I love it. I need to find a good place. I want to put it where I can see it. We're coming up on the anniversary of her, the 2-year anniversary of her death in about a week. So it was just kind of very special to get this at this time, just as a reminder. I miss her every day, so she was a remarkable woman. So anyways, I'm just so pleased. I wanted to share that I received it because it is so special to me. So that is everything I have received over or purchased over the last few weeks. So that is all of the knitting content. So then as far as what's been going on, there's been not a whole lot of knitting time. Soccer started up again. We've been running around like mad people over the last few weeks. So 2 weekends ago was Easter weekend. So on Saturday, my boys ended up at Easter, they were altar servers at the Easter Vigil Mass. So they had practice at 9 a.m. that morning. So I did get a chance to knit a little bit on some vanilla socks as they were practicing. So, and then we ended up at Easter Vigil Mass, which was, I have to say, I was complaining about it. It's a long Mass. It could have been longer. It was only 2 hours, and I have to say, the service was beautiful. I really did enjoy going. The candlelight, the Mass starts off with everybody holding candles in the dark with the candlelight. It was a beautiful service, so I did enjoy that. And then we ended up at my parents' house for Easter with my mother-in-law came, and my husband's sister as well were invited, and then my brother and his wife were there as well, and it was just kind of low-key and nice. The boys got a lot of candy. They got a ridiculous amount of candy, so there is still so much left. They're not going to be able to finish it. So I think I need to research. I know a lot of places will collect candy for troops, so I need to do a little research on where I can go ahead and donate that candy to. I think I'll do that today, figure out where I can drop it off, because they're not going to eat it all. I don't want to eat it all, and neither does my husband. So yeah, that's my job for today, is finding out where I can go ahead and donate that to for our troops. At least it's a worthy cause. And I know Halloween time, the middle school in town collects Halloween candy for the troops, and they drop it off somewhere. So there's gotta be a place close by where I can do that. So, but the Easter, it was nice, it was low-key, but I didn't get a lot of knitting done on Easter just because none of my family are knitters, and sometimes if I pull knitting out and sit and talk, people, I don't know why, people are put off by that. I need more knitting friends that I can sit and talk and knit without them thinking I'm being rude. But, so I didn't get too much knitting done on Easter. And then this past weekend, Saturday was shot. I do volunteer to teach CCD for second graders, and we're prepping for First Holy Communion. So we had a retreat that was 5 hours on Saturday. So my Saturday was shot, so there was no knitting that really got done then. And then on Sunday, we had my younger son Ryan, his Cub Scout blue and gold ceremony. So, and those that aren't familiar with it, that is when the Cub Scouts go up to their next rank for the upcoming year. So my son went up to the last rank, the Arrow of Lights. I really can't speak this morning. The Arrow of Lights. So this is his last year in Cub Scouts, which is kind of bittersweet. I'm kind of feeling it. This coming fall will be his last year in the elementary school and his last year in Cub Scouts before he moves to middle school and Boy Scouts. It's kind of my baby. I'm kind of going through, they're growing up way too fast. And time goes by fast. So, but we ended up at the blue and gold ceremony, which was very nice. It was out on a lake in a neighboring town. It was about 35 minutes away. The town I live in, we're a small population, but there are a lot of farms in town, so there is a lot of land. Acreage-wise, it's very long. It takes me a good 25 minutes to get through from one end of town to the another, which I guess in the Midwest that's probably not a whole lot of time, but here in Massachusetts, especially when you get out into the Boston area, the towns are much smaller in size. So considering Massachusetts wise, we're fairly acreage, a large town. So it took about 35 minutes to get where we were going, which was good. My husband was driving, so I did get some knitting there, but again, vanilla socks in the car. So that was it. That's been my week. There isn't a whole lot else going on. I'm hoping this weekend, other than my son having a soccer game at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning, an hour and a half away, so my husband will be taking him because I think we figured it out. The soccer game's at 9. He has to be there for 8:30 because you have to be there half an hour before the game starts. And then with it being an hour and a half away, they're gonna have to leave by 7. And they'll probably end up leaving later because it's out towards Boston and you never know how Boston traffic's going to be. So my husband's gonna take him. So that is the only thing going on. So I'm hoping to get some knitting done, sitting back, just relaxing, maybe watching a couple movies. It's sad. Yesterday, Saturday, was supposed to be 70 and sunny out, so I was thinking maybe we should just go into Boston and walk around for the day and enjoy the nice weather. And then I got up this morning and looked, and now it's gonna be rainy. So walking around Boston will not be ideal. So I'm hoping maybe I'll wake up tomorrow morning and it'll change back to the 70 and sunny and we can go walking around Boston. We'll see. Unfortunately, we'll just be playing it by ear. At least I'm looking forward to the 70-degree weather because it's flurrying out right now. I can see the flakes in the air. I'm looking out. I'm sitting right by a huge picture window. So it's cloudy and flaking. At least it's not supposed to amount to anything today. But I'm ready for the warmer weather, and I'm ready for the spring weather and the sun to be out. It's been a lot of rain, a lot of snow, a lot of slush. So, fingers crossed that the weather changes and it'll be sunny and we can walk around Boston. But other than that, there's nothing else. So I'm kind of looking forward to kind of a low-key few weeks ahead. So that is it. I hope you guys all have a great 2 weeks ahead, and if you liked the podcast and enjoyed it, please consider subscribing and liking the video. Thank you so much. Bye.